Welcome to the Raise Podcast. I'm Carol Barwick. We're here to raise your confidence and inspire your creativity. Each episode, we will have a different guest who will be discussing our Raise word. The Raise word is a word that will encourage you or empower you and at times inspire you to explore the word a little more for yourself. Hello everybody and welcome to the Raise Podcast. I'm Carol Barwick. As we approach the seasonal time of the year, we've got some fun words to look at, and our word today is one that you might not think about, but you will always do, and that is the word lists. And we're going to be talking to the top 10 podcast and top 10 podcaster, Pav, today about lists. Hiya, Pav. How you doing?
Oh, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
And I'm very pleased that you are here in your Christmas hat. Is it a Christmas jumper as well?
It is. It's a Star Wars Christmas jumper. It's a little bit dusty because I've just been making some picture frames from at work. So I've got dust and all sorts all over me. But this is what I tend to like to wear to kick the Christmas season off.
Excellent. Well, you are looking very Christmassy. I feel like I'm letting the side down. I do have kind of red hair, so we could, we'll try and get away with that.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
Good, thank you. So Pav, thanks for coming on here. I love the top 10 of everything. I really enjoy listening to all the top 10s that you do, and I'm really excited that we're going to have a little think about maybe not top 10s, but some top 3s and some lists. Before we go into some of those, what does the word lists mean to you?
Well, I mean, for the start, it's lists is what I do in regards to podcasts. So it's something that's very important in that regard.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it from a Christmas point of view, Christmas is full of lists. It's not only what you need to send Santa so that you can get your present order into him.
Yeah.
You're constantly making lists in regards to what you're going to eat for Christmas Day, what special treats you're going to get. To me, Christmas it's just a multitude of lists. And if you didn't have lists, I'm a list maker anyway. I like having to-do lists so that you can tick off individual things, and then you feel like every Saturday I've got my checklist when I'm editing the podcast. So I know I've got to do this, and then once you've done it all, you feel like you've accomplished something. It may be small and in the big scheme of things doesn't mean anything, but I think when it comes to Christmas, it's almost like a list. It's a countdown. You're counting down the days. You're ticking off the days. So you're ticking off days off a list to get to Christmas, and then you've got all these sub lists of things to arrange so that you have like the best Christmas that you can have. So for me, it's like Christmas is the time of lists. So it's a perfect, for this time of year, it's a perfect word, I think, for me.
So I'm thinking we need to write like a lad baby kind of song. Christmas is a time for lists, and just then list a load of things that you would put on a Christmas list. What do you reckon?
Yeah, but no sausage rolls. Let's leave sausage rolls out of it because that lad baby have taken the sausage rolls bit, haven't they? So
agreed. I thought you were talking about a personal food preference, and I was going to say we're going to get a lot of horrible emails from people saying, how could you leave sausage rolls off a Christmas list? But if you're talking about it from a commerce point of view,
yeah. I mean, look at me. I like sausage rolls just as much as anybody. So that kind of thing, you can't beat a good sausage roll.
Yeah, but we won't have it in the song so that we don't upset lad baby.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So if you can get that song written, well, I guess a week's time will be fine.
Okay.
That will get it into Christmas number one.
I'm sure I'll give us plenty of time. Plenty of time. Yeah, no worries.
So let's have a little think about some lists that people make at Christmas. So, I mean, obviously we've covered food because we said sausage rolls, so that's done. Nobody else would have any other food on Christmas except sausage rolls, so we're sorted there. What about your Christmas films, what would be your top 3 Christmas films that you'll be watching this year, Pav?
Well, I said, like I like to always promote my own stuff. We did our top 10 Christmas movies a couple of years ago, and the trouble I have, especially with movie top 10s, is that they'll constantly change by how you feel, and so for me, White Christmas is the classic Christmas movie. Same with It's a Wonderful Life, and probably National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation are my top 3. All for different reasons. I mean, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is just a stupid movie. It doesn't really make sense story-wise, in regards to why you want to be on Clark Griswold's side. It only struck me a few years ago. Like, everybody loves that. I mean, I take it you've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yeah. So the premise of it is that he has spent his money, or his bonus that he hasn't got yet, to put in a swimming pool. Now, I mean, to a normal person, I mean, goodness me. I mean, we're supposed to feel sorry for him that he hasn't got this multi-$1,000 bonus, so he can't put a swimming pool in. That to me is like, it only struck me a few years ago thinking, why am I rooting for this guy?
That's not even first world problems, is it? That's
exactly
like 0.5 of the first world problems.
Exactly. It's like he's feeling down and depressed because he had to lay out $10,000 to put his swimming pool in before the ground thawed. And I thought, oh, boo-hoo. Poor you. You've got his cousin Eddie that is living in an RV, and then he's getting upset because he may not get his 10 grand back. So, but I still love the film. Don't get me wrong. I think it's one of the funniest like Christmas films. It's great. Things like It's a Wonderful Life and White Christmas, I still cry every time. Like at the end of those movies, it's just something that's in my DNA that I've watched them from sitting on my nan's knee at Christmases when I was little, watching White Christmas and Bing Crosby, and I love Jimmy Stewart. I love James Stewart as an actor. And so It's a Wonderful Life, again, is one of those movies that, for 95% of it, it's not really a Christmas movie. It's only like the start of it and the end of it make it a Christmas movie. But it's great. And then, of course, Die Hard, which is the most classic of all Christmas movies.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because somebody was on Facebook just today, and I know this will shock you, Pat, saying, I'm not sure why Die Hard is in this list because these are Christmas movies. Now, I did point out to him that it's the people that put those posts on every year that by default have made Die Hard a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Because if people didn't spend all their time discussing it, it wouldn't really feature.
It's what you class as a Christmas movie as well, because if you're going to class Die Hard as a Christmas movie, then that means Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon.
I was going to say, yeah, Gremlins. Yeah.
So yeah. But again, it's like we've said about our top 10s. If you think it's a top 10, it's a Christmas movie, then it's a Christmas movie. If someone doesn't think that, then it isn't for them. But I've always thought of it as a Christmas movie, and it's always on my rotation at Christmas as a movie to watch at Christmas. So.
Yeah, and I'm afraid I do have to make a terrible pun. I was going to say it's an extremely slippery slope, which you'd expect at Christmas at some point.
I wish I had my bell. I could ding you for that then.
Oh, I'm a bit sad now. Never mind. Maybe we'll edit it in.
Yeah, just edit a bell sound in, yeah.
So I guess one of the things about lists is it's making sure that the important things are on there. So I know that my husband still loves to get the Radio Times and circle the films. It's the kind of deal breakers, isn't it? It's if we don't have this on the list, then it's not quite the Christmas that we want it to be. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I was like, sometimes when we can't find anything on TV, we'll just go down rabbit holes on YouTube on the TV. And I was telling my wife that I was going down the rabbit hole of watching 1980s BBC Christmas adverts for the TV of that Christmas.
Okay.
Just watching their idents. And I was trying to explain to my son that, because it came up and it said, and it was 1985's Christmas, and it said, for the first time on British TV, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I said to my son, I said, I would have gone absolutely crazy that, oh my God, Indiana Jones is going to be on the TV. And we did exactly the same thing. We would get radio times, circle the programs we wanted to watch to make sure, because kids watching this now, it was a day when you couldn't just say, I want to watch that, go to your device and be able to watch it. You had to watch it. You watched it once at the cinema, then it would come out maybe on video, and then it would come onto the TV. And if it was a big film, it would come out at Christmas time. And it would be like, oh my God, have you seen what ITV have got? Yeah, they've got this, they've got that. It was so exciting. And to get your radio times, I still did it, probably up to like 15 years ago. I was still getting the radio times and just seeing what they had. But now you can watch any movie pretty much that you want to watch anywhere. It's not the same. Even when Sky say, oh, this is going to be our Christmas Day movie, it's not the same because it was only in the cinemas 6 weeks ago. So it was the part of Christmas that I absolutely loved, was waiting for the first BBC and ITV Christmas advert to tell you what they had, especially the movies. And it was so exciting. It's one of those, and then you would make that list. You would make that list of the TV shows and the movies that you were not going to miss, because it wasn't like it was going to be on again in tomorrow. It was watching it, and if you missed it, you missed it. And I just used to love those things.
Which is another good reason for lists, because I know that I now make lists because otherwise things will get missed or forgotten. And so lists for me is a way of remembering all the things that I either need to do or need to buy or need to watch. Just going back, though, to what you're saying about the exclusivity of Christmas films. Of course, now one of the main problems is there are lists and lists and lists of films and choice that you could watch.
Exactly.
And a big list can be really overwhelming, can't it?
It can. And the thing is, we were doing a little bit of Christmas shopping at the weekend, and you go into a shop and now there is so much stuff that unless you've got an idea in your mind. Now I'm terrible when it comes to holidays. I want to plan everything to the finest detail.
Okay.
My wife and I, we went to Orlando for our 30th wedding anniversary in April. And I like to know, I will sort it out, because when you go somewhere like, say, Disney World, when you go there the first time, it is such a attack on your senses. So much stuff going on. You miss everything. And the first time we went, we absolutely missed everything. So I like to make a plan so we know that, right, we're going to do this, 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 and this. Anything after that is a bonus, but you get to do all the things on your list that you really want to do. And I've kind of put that thought into every list that I make now. The top 3 or 4 are the main priorities. They're the main things that you've got to do. And then if you get to 5, 6, 7, 8, that's a bonus. They're like the extra things that. But if you can make sure that you get number 1, 2, 3, and 4 done, you can relax a little bit. And that can go to household chores. That can go to doing your shopping, to any kind of things where you have to put a bit of order into something. I feel that's where, and again, it's a perfect word for me, because I like making lists, whether it's to-do lists, whether it's things you like. And again, my whole podcast is based on that, where it's just making lists of things. 9 times out of 10 things that you like. Sometimes we might take a more negative approach to it and find things that we don't like, which I think is sometimes healthy as well, that you try and look at the things, not necessarily try and change them, but look at the things that you don't particularly like and see why you don't like them.
Yeah, it helps you kind of build comparisons, doesn't it? But here's a tricky question. So what if you'd written your list for Disney and a member of your family said, no, I'm not doing anything on that list. I'm not interested in that list. What happens then?
Then that's fine. Then they can go off and do what they want to do. I would hope that they have made their own list.
Okay.
Now, I'm at the age, and my children are at the age that they are all like independent. It's not. I've done it where my son was the first time we went to Disney. He was 8 years old, and he was an absolute nightmare. Where it became those things where we queued for an hour to get on a ride. We were 3 away from the front, and then he said, "I don't want to do this."
Oh no, nightmare.
And then that becomes the whole family then just sort of disintegrates because
Yes.
I'm getting very angry.
Yes.
My wife is then saying, "I'll take him away and you go on the ride." I said, "No, the whole point is that we're all going to go on the ride." So it helps when they're a lot older
Yeah.
because you would hope that, and I would, and I've said to them before that if we ever went as a family again, doesn't necessarily mean we've all got to go around together. You
Yeah.
have your list, we have our list. We'll see you later on. We'll see you at the fireworks. Go and have a lovely day. And that's probably the best way of doing it because you can worry about your list and don't worry about anybody else's because that's when things will get crazy then.
You see, I wonder though if that's the real tension at Christmas when one person has one list and one person has their own list. And then they all meet together in one room for a whole day and can't escape.
That's true.
How you manage that.
Yeah, I would say that you would respect the list of the person whose house you are going to for Christmas.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They're the hosts.
Yeah.
So if they're saying that dinner is at 1 o'clock and then we're gonna watch the message from the king, and then we're going to play charades, and then we're going to have a little bit of a buffet. Whereas if you were at home saying, no, we're gonna, open presents in the morning, we're gonna watch the king's speech, then we'll have dinner. I think you have to you respect the person that you're going to because it's their house, it's their rules, if you like.
Yeah.
I don't think I would feel very, very, my nose would be out of joint if I was putting on Christmas dinner for the family and somebody else came in and said, "Well, no, I'm not going to have my dinner now. I'm going to have it at like 5 o'clock if that's all right."
Oh yeah.
I said, "Well, no, you're with us," and I don't think it's a nasty thing to say. I think it's more of a respectful thing that people are coming to you and they follow your list, which I think is good.
And going back to your podcast, that's what I love about it because you get your guest on, and of course, not everybody's going to have the same top 10
Definitely not
Christmas movies of all time. But you're not going to turn around and say, "Oh, that's absolute rubbish." I mean, in jest, there's some quips and arguments and things like that, which make it great fun. But
that's
really,
right.
It's about saying, well, we're different in this way and we connect on this thing. And I think lists can do that. I mean, I think one of my favorite bits of TV that often are more kind of exclusive are the top tens, like the Christmas adverts and the toys from yesteryear and Christmas songs, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the Christmas number one again when I was growing up was a massive thing. It was, I mean, it's probably still is now, but I think music is a lot more. Well, I mean, I'm not the age to be looking at the top 10 anymore or the top 40. I sometimes have a little glance at it and I don't recognize anybody in the top 40 because that's not what my music is anymore. But it's always nice at Christmas time because you will look at it because downloads count for everything, and you'll see that the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl are still in the top 10 for Christmas. But when I was little, when I was growing up, when I was really into what the music of the day was, the Christmas number one was the biggest thing. It'd be like waiting on Top of the Pops or listening on the Sunday on the radio to see what the Christmas number one was going to be. Yeah. And you always hoped it was going to be one of your favorite songs. It doesn't matter to anybody else, but the fact that I can remember when Frankie Goes to Hollywood got to number one with The Power of Love one year. I was a massive Frankie Goes to Hollywood fan, and the fact that like my band had got to number one, I don't think they quite made it as Christmas number one. Because I think Band Aid came out the week after. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong on that, but yeah. So it's another massive thing. But again, it's a top 40 countdown. Another one of those lists that meant so much more when I was growing up than it feels. It's a lot more disposable now. I don't think you ever. I wouldn't even know who's number one at the moment because I'm old and cranky when it comes to that kind of stuff.
No, I'm the same. Even though when I used to run quiz, I was much more aware of who was in the charts because I wanted to sing stuff still that was really relevant, but I
Yeah.
don't know so much these days. I wonder now if really the Christmas advert has kind of taken over from the Christmas song in terms of people waiting for them to come out. And what
Yeah.
would be your top three Christmas adverts, Pav?
Oh, goodness me. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, it's not, again, it's not even a place anymore, but I always used to love the Woolworths Christmas advert because
Yeah.
it would always be full of celebrities of that era. So it'd be people
Yeah.
that you would recognize, and it would be like an Avengers Endgame of 80s and 70s, British TV celebrities that you would look at now and go, oh my God, like Little and Large and
Yeah.
Jim Davison and Joe Bryan, and they would be all like
Or possibly
in a
even who are they?
exactly. It would be exactly that. It would be exactly that. But the Woolworths advert, and I would say that the other adverts would be the BBC and ITV Christmas TV. Those kind of adverts for their own radio, the TV stations of what was going to be on. They were the things that I absolutely loved. And then Quality Street as well, the Quality Street advert. If you could get a perfume that smelt like a Quality Street tin just as you open it, that to me is the smell of Christmas. When you open up a Quality Street tin and the smell
Okay.
of the crinkly wrappers. Again, it's not the same anymore because I don't think you get a tin anymore. It's tiny. We used to get these massive tins with the foil wrappers, and it
Yeah.
just
If you had
it
the
takes my
perfume, you would have to wrap it in one of those see-through coloured wrappers,
absolutely,
please.
absolutely.
Okay. So
Well, I
so
think we could do
next
that.
year, Christmas
Yeah.
number one and perfume, Quality Street perfume.
This time next year, Carol, we'll be millionaires, as
We
Dale
will. We
Boyle
can have
used
our
to say.
own top 10 of Pavan. And hello, my name is Carol. Like,
I mean, look at that.
get in.
There you go. I mean,
Sorted. Okay.
it's like fate is giving us this road to next Christmas, this yellow brick road with to this the next Christmas, where it's just at the end of it is a massive pot of money and gold and fame and fortune.
Wow. And there, everybody, is the true meaning of Christmas. Oh, I'm going to get in so
Yeah.
much trouble as a Christian. Oh my goodness me. So, um, I I really like the John Lewis advert because I always do a little mashup of it with another song. I used to do that for my choir. But the advert I really liked this year is I like the Tesco's advert where they all just become gingerbread things.
Oh, I
It
haven't
just
seen that
makes
one.
me very happy. It's
All
called,
right,
it
I need to
says,
look.
um, what's that? Oh, what's the slogan? Oh, I've completely forgotten the slogan. And obviously other supermarkets are available. We know that.
They
But
are indeed.
like the goldfish turns gingerbread, all the houses turn gingerbread, and it's just really I just really like it. And it's
I'll
got a
have
bit
to
of
have a look at
pathos behind it. Yeah, do. But that's
it.
that would be my number one Christmas advert this year. Because it just
Right.
makes me feel happy and Christmassy.
Yeah, I must admit, I think because it's been good. These kind of adverts have been going on for a few years now, and I think it was
Mm.
last year. I can't remember which one it was, but it started to get where they were getting a little bit formulaic, where they were taking a song, slowing it
Oh yeah.
down, just making
Yeah,
it a
yeah, yeah.
piano song, and it
Yeah.
ended up becoming like, oh God, they're doing that again. They're not doing anything sort
Yeah.
of different. Um,
Yeah.
but see, I'm a sucker for those kind of songs.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like like the Lily Allen version of the Keen song.
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I I do like that kind, but just like they kept using it for Christmas songs, for Christmas
Yeah.
adverts, and
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, I'll check that Tesco's one out.
Yeah, well, it's interesting with the John Lewis one because it has actually taken the more emotional side out of it this year. It's still lovely in that it's looking at sisters, but it's not got that really big emotional punch at the end. And I think some people found that really difficult, and some people kind of breathed a sigh of relief and just went, "Ah,
Oh
it's just a
right.
nice Christmas advert." So
Oh
I'm wondering what kind of list people are on in terms of whether they agree or not agree on that one.
Indeed.
But so we've had a little look at lists. We've looked at how we can compare them. They can be used for good and not for evil. We must respect other people's lists, particularly if we're asking them to host something or run something. In terms of your top 10 of everything, what's been your, let's just say your top 2 of the top 10 podcasts that you've done?
Oh, God. I mean, that's like asking you who your favorite children are, isn't it? It's like, because we've had different guests. I mean, obviously, the one with you was one of our
And I
highlights.
thought I was absolutely sensational in the
You were
Tom
amazing,
Hanks quiz. Amazing.
absolutely.
And the fact I nearly
Yeah,
said Tom Cruise kind of tells everybody where I was at in terms of that
that's
quiz. We didn't use
uh,
the bell, did we? I didn't get any bells, I don't think.
yeah. And the
No.
thing is, it's like I must admit, with a lot of the ones that we've done, and I've actually on our Patreon, I've started a little series where I make amendments to my top 10, my top 10 choices.
Okay, yeah.
So I did the Taylor Swift one, like top 10 Taylor Swift songs. I can't remember what episode it was. And now that I've become a full blown Swiftie, my
Uh-huh.
top 10
You've had to change
has
it.
completely changed. It's
Yeah.
completely changed. And then for like my my Marvel movies top 10, I had that pretty much set in stone. But then after watching Deadpool and Wolverine, that
Yeah.
I
It has
had
to
to make a
change.
video to say
Yeah.
I've got to put this one in because that's
Yeah.
now my second favorite Marvel movie. And I love
Yeah.
Marvel movies. So I mean, the Taylor Swift one means a lot to me because I went and saw Taylor in the summer with 2 of my daughters. Went and saw her live, and it was one of the
Oh,
most
brilliant.
amazing experiences I've ever had. And if someone had told me
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 years ago that I'd have said that, I would have slapped them across the face with a wet fish because I thought that's ridiculous, you know. But it was just an amazing experience. It was and to be there with like 2 of my daughters who are massive, you know, they know every single word of Taylor's
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
to be able to do that, so that's quite. But to be fair, I honestly can't. I can't single. I've put
Yeah.
it this way. I've got trying to touch wood, and we've done. I've recorded 100 and over 160 episodes now, and we've not
Wow.
had one person that I would say afterwards, not to their face, but I would say, well, that was a bit of a bitch. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
We've not had one.
Yeah.
There's always been something either fun, educational. I've got a list as long as my arm of things that I still need to, like new music, new TV shows, new movies that I need to
Because
check
they're
out.
always coming out, aren't they? That everything things
Exactly.
change all the time, as you
Yeah,
said.
and also it's like you said as well about somebody's choice. It may not be a choice that I go, oh, okay, or especially music, but they'll say to me, oh, you want to check that out, so I'll
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like country, there were some country songs that somebody mentioned, so I had a little listen. Some of them are some of the greatest songs I've ever heard, and I would
Yeah.
never have heard them in a million years if I hadn't have done the podcast. Also, to go with that, and I've said this, I've been podcasting for, it'll be 12 years in April with various other podcasts. And the people that I've met, like yourself, like every other guest that we've had, I would never have met them if it hadn't have been for
Yeah.
podcasts. So
Agreed.
that
Yeah.
that kind of thing is, if there's one reason why anybody should start a podcast, is because the people that you will meet um, can change your life. I would say,
Yeah.
don't want to get
Yeah.
too heavy, but it can, because you end up having a whole different load of people to talk to, um, and you learn stuff every single time, even if it's people that we have as a repeat guest,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I hope you'll be a repeat guest in the new
Please.
year.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so it's definitely something that I would say that anybody's ever said to me, oh, what should I do a podcast? Just go and do it because it's so much fun. But it's to try and get 3 of my favorite ones, Taylor, you, and then the next one that you're going to be on. They'll be my 3 favorite ones. How about that?
Wow. Wow. That's amazing for you just to think of it like that. The one
There
that
you
I've
go.
already done and the one that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we've already done Tom Cruise, so we can't do that. We'll have to think of something else.
Thank the Lord that I don't
Yeah.
have to do that one again, quite frankly. Can I do one that I know a lot about next time?
You can. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely, you can.
Okay, listen, we're nearly at the end of this really fun little short and sweet episode. We always have two final things that we do. Number one is we always have a listener challenge, and we're keeping it light. So just have a think about the lists that you need to make over Christmas. Remember that they are there to help you. They're not there to kind of strap you down and make you do things that you don't want to do. Make your list fun. Anything to add to that, Pav?
I completely agree. I think that the best kind of lists are the lists that you don't have to make, but that you want to make.
Yeah.
And I do think that Christmas lists, if the only thing you've got to worry about is making a couple of Christmas lists over Christmas, then I think you're winning. I think that's the best thing I can sort of say about Christmas lists, because hopefully everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Everybody has a a fulfilling Christmas. And I personally think that making lists can help that, because then it means you don't forget certain things, because everything else that's going on in your life or in the world, it can fill your brain up sometimes. So I do think it helps sometimes just writing it down or popping it on your phone as a to-do list. Just keeps things a bit clearer in your brain, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's important to remember Christmas is different for everybody, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
it's going to look very different for people. So yeah. Okay, we've just come to the very final part where I write a Christmas. No, I don't normally write a Christmas poem, Pav. That would be rubbish. But I am going to write a poem about lists.
That'd be weird in June, wouldn't it? Absolutely.
Which is my middle name, just to throw that in there.
No, it's not.
It really is. It really, like, this is wow.
What is going on?
I know. It's just all meant to be.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we finish recording this, you give me 3 numbers, I'll get 3 numbers, and I'll buy a lottery ticket, just because I think we're on a roll here.
Right. Okay. And then as long as we use the money to create the Christmas song and the perfume, because obviously we need to put it in for good gotten gains.
Absolutely.
Sorted. Okay. Right. Give me 1 minute. When we make lists, it means something exists. It's about putting something into the universe or into the world and saying, this is important to us. We want it to be. We want to see these things happen so that we can make people smile. And all the while we're feeling just that little bit more organized. We're aware of the things that need to happen in order for the smiles to come this Christmas. But let's not forget to put on the list those things that are most important, the love and the hope that people need this Christmas time. So with a glass of wine or orange juice, whatever you choose to have, let's say, let's make some lists this Christmas so that we can all be happy and share in the joy of Christmas. There you go.
Very nice.
It was a little bit.
You don't sound too sure.
It was a little bit meandery. I felt like I was walking a little bit along the yellow brick road towards the end of that, but you know. I wouldn't put it on my top 10, I have to say, but it is it's all good fun. All good fun. Pav, thank you so much for your time.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes, please, people, the top 10 of everything will be on the show notes. Go and have a listen. It is a brilliant listen. You are guaranteed to find so many things that you enjoy listening to. So yeah, take care. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yay!
Nice one. I usually put an advert break in, but because it was short, I just thought we don't need to do that.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Thanks, mate. That was fun.
No problem at all. I'll message you with some dates, and we'll sort out we'll sort out a top 10 for I've only got 2 more recordings left this year.
Yeah.
But we'll get something sorted out for early in the new year, and then you can come back and we'll
Super.
do another top 10.
Nice one. All right, mate.
Lovely. Have a
Take
lovely
care.
Christmas. If I don't
Thank you.
speak to you before.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks,
All right,
pal.
take
See you
care.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.